Bonjour. Yes. She's a beautiful lady. Look at her. Like a smart, I'm smart. She's beautiful. Achhi jodi hamari. We look nice together. Okay. Anyways, I gave her the microphone, and she will explain about Paris to us.
Very cool.
Hello, good afternoon. Good afternoon, everybody. My name is Piata. Piata, very complicated name. Piata, is it okay? It's fine. Okay. So, do you have your friend? Everybody? Everybody's back? No extra passengers. It's okay. Good. Yes, it's me. I know. Beautiful pictures of the Eiffel Tower. You stop very near what you call Trocadero Square, and that's definitely one of the best spots in Paris to take pictures. Of the old lady of Paris, because this is what you call the Eiffel Tower, the old lady of Paris. Who speaks French? Raise your hand.
Sorry, I don't think.
Okay, not too many people. You know, the Eiffel Tower is feminine in French.
Okay.
And you call the tower the old lady of Paris because it's old enough. It was built for the World Exhibition of 1889. It was planned as a temporary monument for the World Exhibition. And you know, a lot of people didn't like the tower. But finally, people got used to it. And today, the tower is the very symbol of Paris. And you know, here in front of you, this trifle art is higher than any other trifle art as you can see in Italy. You know, Roman emperors had trifle arches constructed, and Napoleon Bonaparte, you've heard the name before, haven't you? Napoleon.
Yeah.
Napoleon Bonaparte was an emperor, and even if it was he himself who crowned himself emperor, you know, Napoleon in Notre Dame Cathedral in Paris crowned himself emperor. And Roman emperors had trifle arches constructed, and Napoleon wanted to copy all sorts of things Roman emperors did. So he decided the construction of this arch in front of you. Do you know Napoleon's first wife? Do you know her name? Josephine. Napoleon's first wife was Josephine. Napoleon was in love with Josephine, but he couldn't have children together, so he divorced Josephine, and Napoleon Bonaparte married Marie-Louise from Austria, and Napoleon wanted to greet his second wife, Marie-Louise, with this triumphal arch. But you know, the construction of the arch lasted over 30 years, more than 30 years, so neither Napoleon nor one wants to go. From this angle you can see Napoleon Bonaparte on this pillar. Have a look on the left pillar, facing the arch on the left pillar, Napoleon Bonaparte, and on the right pillar, from this angle, you can see a scene from the French national hymn, from the Marseillaise, the Volontaires' departure. You may wonder how these people managed to cross the square. It's forbidden to cross the square, of course. It's very dangerous to cross the square, but there's an underground passage that leads you under the arch. And look, under the arch, by the way, there's the tomb of the unknown soldier from the First World War. You can see these flowers there. Just behind all these people, there's the tomb of the unknown soldier. And something else, notice, inside the arch are names carved. All these names tell you about Napoleon's different military leaders and about different cities that were conquered by the emperor. Foch Avenue to the right, the Millionaires Avenue, Foch Avenue. Caroline, the Princess of Monaco, has an apartment there. Very, very expensive avenue just behind you. Okay, so you had the chance to have a look at the trifle arch from all these different angles. And now we'll be driving on Champs Elysees. Exactly, you've heard the name before, Champs Elysees. Look, on the left-hand side you can see the Qatari embassy. You see the Qatari embassy, you can see the flag of the state of Qatar. They can afford to have their embassy here on Champs Elysees. Exactly. Qatari embassy. Champs Elysees is about 2 kilometers long. It leads you from the Triangle Arch down to Concord Square, Place de la Concorde. And notice something. Can you see? Look, please, have a look at the very regular shape of the trees. You see? The very regular shape of the trees. This is the French way of boulevards and gardens. Regularly, yes, they trim trees regularly, several times a year. So this is the famous business part of Champs Elysees. I think some of you coming tonight to see this beautiful show, the Lido show. The Lido is here on Champs Elysees. Just look around you, all these nice shops, cinemas, restaurants around here. And on the left-hand side, Peugeot shop around the corner on the left-hand side. What else? Look, now you can see Lido. Have a look, please, with the left-hand side next to the citizens. There is Lido, Lido, the famous music hall, Lido, Cabaret. To the right, LV, Louis Vuitton. LV is a very famous shop. And this is Fouquet's restaurant on the corner, on the right-hand side, around the corner, with red canopy. Fouquet's restaurant is among the 10 best restaurants in Paris. So this is really a beautiful, beautiful place. You know, every year, family, every year on the 14th of July, there is this military parade here. Maybe you've heard about the French Revolution. You know, Bastille Day. Bastille Day, the 14th of July in 1789, people took the very famous prison called Bastille. Alright? No, the Bastille meant the absolute power of the French kings. That's why it was so important to take it, to demolish it. And you know, every year we celebrate Bastille Day. And as well, do you know the cycling race? Yeah. La Tour de France cycling race ends here. Ends here in Paris on Champs Elysees. So look, once again, look around you, look at these nice restaurants. La Durée around the corner to the right is famous for its pastry, macaroon, whatever. And as I've said, a lot of restaurants. If you go to the archways here, there is a whole universe of shopping center. Renault shop, can you see on the right hand side? Renault to the right, just in case it's open till midnight. Renault shop, you know the French car, you know? Renault, some people do, Disney store on the left hand side, Disney store.
Yeah, we had come. Remember, we had taken a photograph.
Some of you are going to Disneyland tomorrow. Euro Disney, yes. Far from Paris. Beautiful place. Right now, just in front of you, please have a look at the square in front of you. The square divides Champs Elysees into two completely different parts. This is the business part between the square and the Triumphal Arch, and then you will see this very nice walking part of Champs Elysees. On this square, they change flowers 6 times a year. At Christmas, there are Christmas trees. In summertime, there are palm trees. One of the fashion streets to the right, Montaigne Avenue, because you know Paris leads the world fashion. Thank you. Paris leads the world fashion. Even if the Italians do not always agree with it, it's still the case. Paris is number 1, then it's Milano, and then it's Bombay. Yes, you're doing very well, exactly. Listen to this young lady, this fashion designer, Indian fashion designer, and she was on TV, and then I found out you're doing very, very well when it comes to fashion as well. Okay. So look, on the right hand side, just for a second, on the right hand side you can see this huge building with half metallic, half glass cupola. It's a little bit hidden by the trees. This is a museum. It houses permanent and temporary exhibitions. You see on the right hand side half glass, half metallic cupola. And in front of the building on the right hand side, the statue represents Charles de Gaulle, our famous President Charles de Gaulle. Exactly. We are driving slowly so that you can have a look at this beautiful bridge on the right hand side. Grand Palace buildings. In front of you, in the middle of the square, you can see a sort of a needle. You see this monument in front of you is called the obelisk. And the obelisk is the oldest monument in Paris. It is from Egypt. It is 3,300 years old. It was a present by Muhammad Ali. I don't mean the boxer, sir. not Cassius Clay, not the boxer. But Muhammad Ali, the Egyptian king, gave the obelisk as a present. One had to give such a nice name to the square because it was the Revolution Square with the guillotine. with the guillotine. Yes, 1,200 people were beheaded on this square during the French Revolution. Among those people, you should remember the King Louis XVI and his unfortunate wife, Marie Antoinette from Austria. They were beheaded very young. The King Louis XVI was 39 and Marie Antoinette was 38 years old when they were beheaded on this square. Look, two fountains, family, two fountains at the same distance from the obelisk. Enjoy the view of Champs Elysees on the left-hand side. Isn't it beautiful? Look, look, look. The Triumphal Arch, exactly. They're cleaning the hotel. So remember Concorde, the ex-Revolution Square, and we decided to change the name of the square. And it became Concorde. Why? Because Concorde means agreement, harmony, symmetry, agreement. People wanted to forget about the horrible memories of the French Revolution and all these people who were beheaded on this square. 8 female statues, by the way. 8 female statues on this ex-Revolution Square. All these statues represent 8 different French cities, and they're more or less at the direction of these cities. And to the right, all the trees, you know, the trees and the royal gardens. To the right, I will point you out the royal gardens a little bit later, next to the Louvre Museum. You see, you are in a very important business district in Paris. Roadworks everywhere. It must be Paris. You know nothing about roadworks? No, in Bombay, I can guess. Maxime, the boulevard, the Grand Boulevard leads you to the opera. Remember this building? You see here on the left-hand side, it really looks like a beautiful Greek temple with its columns called Madeleine Church. Remember, behind the church, there is the best deli shop in Paris, Fauchon, excellent delicatessen deli shop. You see, you can see metro, the red, it's written on red, metro, underground, metro, subway, underground. There are 14 underground lines in Paris, and 2 of those underground lines, metro, called metro in French, metro lines are automatic. No drivers. Okay, you're in a little bit of traffic jam, so it gives me the possibility to teach you a few French words, if you don't mind. Alright, so still remember how to say hello, good day? Hello, good day is in French. Thanks for trying. Yes, bonjour. Can you repeat it after me? Bonjour. How many French teachers? Bonjour. French teachers, sir. Thank you. So, bonjour. Do you know how to say thank you? Merci, exactly. Do you know how to say I love you? Sir, look at her. Look at her, please. Don't look at me, look at her. And tell her, je t'aime. Je t'aime. Sir, tell her, look at her, tell her, je t'aime. Je t'aime. Je t'aime. You can practice tonight, sir. Excellent. Okay, do you know how to... Je t'aime, darling, je t'aime. Alright. And do you know, it's not such a nice word, but do you know how to say traffic jam? No. Traffic jam is bouchon. Just think of the ex-president of the United States, President Bush. You add bouchon. It's a nasal voice. It's a top secret. Bouchon. Never in my whole life had I seen such a horrible bouchon when President Bush was here on an official visit. That's when I found out how to teach that word to you. Exactly. Do you know any French cars? Any French make? Any French car? Peugeot. Citroën, and give me an R. Give me an E. Renault. Excellent. Renault. That's enough. Peugeot, Renault, Citroën. Whenever a registration number ends by 75, okay, number plate ends by 75, 75 means Paris. Just the last 2 numbers mean something, or registration numbers. So 75 means Paris. Whenever a registration number ends by 77, 78, between 91 to 95, that means that these cars are from the outskirts of the French capital. You see, just around the corner, this round thing is to recycle bottles. See? to recycle bottles. Most of the times on the street corners, family on the street corners, most of the times, not all the time, you can see a blue plate on the corner, blue plate, and on that blue plate you can read the name of the street, and especially normally you can tell above the name of the street, most of the time there's a number, and that number indicates in which district of Paris you are. You see the second district, ARR, arrondissement district. How many people in Paris? Oh, look, this is such a nice theater. John Baez going to sing there. John Baez, very nice theater. Olympia Theater just behind you. Musical. And how many people in Paris? 20 districts, and in these 20 districts, about 3 million inhabitants, right? If you include the outskirts of Paris, 12 million inhabitants. Roughly speaking, it means that 1 person out of 6 in France lives in the capital. Total population of France is about 66 million inhabitants. Sir, how many people in India? How many? Nobody really knows. Yeah. Bouchon, traffic jam in India. That's okay. Look at these nice balconies, by the way. You see wrought iron balconies, decoration there. Sometimes you can see beautiful flowers. You see, they're not very. Actually, they're rather narrow balconies, but the decoration is beautiful.
Oh, this is the Grand
typical
Hotel.
Gap. Do you know Gap?
Yeah.
Got good taste, Gap.
Grand Hotel.
Exactly.
Grand Hotel.
Yes, very nice hotels around here, exactly. Remember, we are in a very important business district of Paris. There are several business districts in the French capital, but here between Madeleine Toad behind you and the Opera in front of you, it is really one of the most important business districts of Paris. Do you know Cartier? On the left-hand side, Cartier. You've got everything in India. You've got diamonds, you've got beautiful things, but we are still very proud of our Cartier jewelry store. Cartier, exactly. And there's a very nice cafe coming up on the left-hand side, a little bit further on the left-hand side, around the corner. Café de la Paix. Café de la Paix is a very nice cafe. For a good cup of coffee, you would pay something like €9. Reasonable? €9 for a cup of coffee? Well, it is for Café de la Paix. If you're lucky enough, 2 drops of milk included, sir. 2 drops of milk to €9, exactly. Right, slowly, so that you can have a look on the left-hand side. Have a look at the Opera family, beautiful opera house. You see, the Opera, exactly, the Opera. You go to the Opera. There's a beautiful fresco painted by Marc Chagall. Russian origin surrealist painter Marc Chagall's fresco decorates the cupola of the Opera. Okay. This is Opera Avenue. Opera Avenue leads you from the Opera down to the Louvre Museum. Look on the other side, Bouchon. It will come on this side as well. Thomas Cook, you've just missed Thomas Cook on the left-hand side, the highlight of Paris. Thomas Cook Agency, yes. Notice something. Can you see all these buildings around you? Have a look at the height of the buildings. You see, they all look alike. Something very important. We're trying to preserve the harmonious aspects of our city. So the real skyscrapers are outside Paris, just very few high buildings in the French capital. This is what I mean, you see? The height of the buildings is pretty much alike. This is what I mentioned before, the street corners, and the blue plate, the name of the street. Above the name of the street, you can see very well the number that indicates in which district of Paris you are. And once again, these typical French balconies. Can you see at both sides wrought iron balconies? You can find this type of balconies at some French parts of Canada. See? And here a lot of travel agencies, airline companies, cafes, offices, banks, headquarters of different banks around this area. It is one of the very rare avenues, by the way. There are no trees. Oh, maybe there's a demonstration, my friend. Look at the police cars. Look on the right-hand side. Yes. You know our favorite national sport right after soccer? To go and demonstrate, yes, to go and protest. Yes.
Paris is famous.
There haven't been demonstrations in Paris for several hours, so it's high time. A very quick look, but you can't see very well. Those sitting in front, can you see silver colors, silver, blue, red colors on the left-hand side? That's the subway entrance, metro subway entrance. And decoration. This is painted glass from Burano Island. You know, next to Venice in Italy, the two small islands, Murano and Burano, very famous for the painted glass decoration. And now Rafa has to do something very, very special. Rafa, look. Can you see what I can see? All of you. Can you see this archway?
Yes.
It is a test for drivers. Yes. Don't look so scared, sir. You look scared. We trained last night, all night, because your excellent driver has to go through this archway. I couldn't even make it with my bicycle, sir. But this is the only way for us to show you the main entrance of the Louvre Museum. This street, by the way, to the left and to the right, is the longest street of Paris, of the right bank of the city. A little bit later I will tell you how to distinguish between left and right banks, but now Rafa has just closed his eyes. Oh dear, oh dear.
Oh dear.
Just a second, please, keep silent. Keep silent.
No noise.
Just a second, it's not over yet. Not yet, not yet. Just a second. Put your hands together, give him a big applause. Thank you very much. Yes, merci beaucoup. So look, on the left hand side you can see the glass pyramid, the main entrance of the Louvre Museum. We're going to stop here for a second. We're not allowed to get off the bus, but we're going to stop here so that you can enjoy the beauty of this view. Look, so many beautiful things to be seen. Yes, we're going to stop here so that my nice people admire the beauty of the Triumphal Arch. Family, the small Triumphal Arch on the right hand side, the small Triumphal Arch with the royal gardens behind. And look, so many nice, so beautiful. Look at the glass pyramid. You know, the glass pyramid was inaugurated when we celebrated the 200th anniversary of the French Revolution in 1989. This glass pyramid was planned by an American architect of Chinese origin, I.M. Pei. I.M. Pei planned the glass pyramid, and I.M. Pei was a very good friend of our ex-president, François Mitterrand's good friend.
Oh.
You know, François Mitterrand passed away several years ago. So some naughty people say that it was not surprising that the Mitterrand jury accepted the glass pyramid as the main entrance of the museum. And then you can see Mona Lisa. Look on the left-hand side, a beautiful, beautiful view of Notre Dame Cathedral with those two towers.
Yes.
But now, a little bit later, we're going to the boats, and I think you're all going to the boat cruise, to the Seine cruise. It's so nice. You will see Paris from all these different angles. The level of the river is relatively high. What's the name of the river?
Seine.
La Seine. La Seine is the right French pronunciation. Exactly. Look at all these trees. You can see them several times. Look. This very small blue gate. Can you see it?
Yeah, what's that?
It is the smallest house in Paris. Yes? In Paris is facing one of the biggest, largest museums of the world, the Louvre Museum. You see? Yes, the smallest house of the
10
French
feet wide.
capital. And the Louvre Museum is on the other side of one of the biggest, largest museums of the world. You know, the Louvre Bouquinist. Bouquinist is the French way, is the French name. And they're really parts of the typical image of Paris. At this very moment, ladies and gentlemen, we are driving from east behind you towards west in front of you. So we're taking exactly the same direction as the river. The Seine River flows through Paris. So if you look downstream, which hand is this hand? Left. That's right, my lady. This is the left. This is my left hand. This is the left bank. That's how you can distinguish very easily between left and right banks. You just look downstream. You know, downstream, and this is more, the left bank is more the the intellectual part of Paris, and the right bank with the opera and Champs Elysees. It is more what you consider the business part of the French capital. He had a lot of art galleries, antique shops, universities. On the left back, look at the name Voltaire on the left-hand side. Can you see the green canopy? Voltaire, the famous French philosopher, died in this building in 1778. Voltaire is considered as one of the fathers of the French Revolution. And this restaurant, just here around the corner, is named after the great French philosopher.
Voltaire.
Right. So, you know, wherever the collection of the Louvre Museum ends by the middle of the 1840s, that's where the collection of Orsay Museum begins. We'll be driving next to this ex-railway station in a minute. On the left-hand side, Orsay Museum. Come on, family. Look on the left-hand side, this huge building around the corner. This huge building is what you call Orsay Museum. It was a railway station. It looks it. Here on the left-hand side. This railway station was built for the World Exhibition of 1900, and it worked as a railway station till the end of the Second World War. And it was not big enough, modern enough for the modern trains. The French railways wanted to demolish the building, but then some clever people had the idea to keep it, and today it houses a very rich and interesting museum. If you like Impressionist painters, if you like Monet, Renoir, Degas, Sisley, Toulouse-Lautrec, Van Gogh, you just go to this museum here on the left-hand side. The entrance is there, you'll see on the left-hand side behind the funny animal statues. There's the entrance of Orsay Museum. Review, and still Orsay Museum, and I can already see the horse, the elephant on the left-hand side, and that's the entrance of Orsay, today's rich museum. And then I would like to show you these boats as well on the river. Just a second, so many things to be seen. So the ex-railway station, look here on the left-hand side. And keep on watching on the left-hand side. The left-hand side, you can see this building with the green cupola. The building here to the left became the model for the White House in Washington. And the building here on the left-hand side with the green cupola houses what you call the Legion of Honor. The Legion of Honor that was founded by Napoleon Bonaparte. He just cleaned the building. It looks so beautiful. The left-hand side. And you see, as I said, there are some nice boats on the Seine River. And some of those boats are houseboats, you know. Actually, rich people have those houseboats. Why? Because once you purchase your boat, it's not easy to find a good location. It's quite expensive to find a good location here in Paris, especially in the center parts of the Seine River. Of course, how much you would pay a month depends on the length of your boat. But here, in the center part of Paris, you can pay up to 3,000 euro a month. You see, 3,000 euro. Of course, if you've left Paris, it's not as expensive any longer. Right. Through the bridge here, it's harmony, symmetry are two very important words, exactly. And in spite of these large avenues, you see traffic is very, very heavy. In affairs, a lot of important decisions are made in this building, the Ministry of Foreign Affairs, and now we are driving as slowly as possible so that you can have a look at the bridge Alexander III on the right-hand side. Look at this beautiful bridge. It is the most beautiful bridge of Paris made. It was inaugurated for the World Exhibition of 1900. It was named after the Russian Tsar Alexander III. It tells you about French-Russian friendship. And look, on the right-hand side, can you see the French flag on the top of the glass cupola? I've already pointed you at that building. This is from Champs Elysees. That building is Grand Palace. That building is a museum. It houses permanent and temporary exhibitions. And please, please, please have a look on the left-hand side, the building with the gold cupola. Remember, you took pictures on Trocadero Square, on the top of a hill. And some people ask me, oh, what is that building with the gold cupola? That building is the very building where Napoleon Bonaparte is buried. The building with the gold cupola originally was a royal church built for the Sun King Louis XIV at the second part of the 17th century. And today, the ex-royal church, what you call the Invalids Church, the Royal Church of the Invalids, that building today houses Napoleon's tomb. Napoleon's tomb. Look, Napoleon's last wish was, you know, Napoleon died in exile, as you surely know.
Yeah.
Napoleon's last wish was on St. Helena Island, and let me quote his last wish to you. I desire that my ashes rest on the banks of the Seine river among French people I love so much. He's buried in 6 coffins, coffins, the ones in the others. Some naughty people say Napoleon is buried in 6 coffins to make sure he cannot come out. You know, he was an emperor. Even it was he himself who crowned himself emperor in Paris, in Notre Dame Cathedral on the 2nd of December 1804. And all those 6 coffins are in a beautiful sarcophagus.
Oh, look at that.
I remember I mentioned before Napoleon loved his first wife Josephine, but no baby, no children together. That was the main reason why he divorced Josephine. Josephine, remember, feminine in French, 2 genders, feminine and masculine. Whatever you say, la, remember, la is feminine. Le is masculine. Yes. La Tour Eiffel. And I already mentioned that the Eiffel Tower was planned for the World Exhibit. Can you see the tower? From the boat you will see it, of course, again. The tower was planned for the World Exhibition of 1889, and it was planned by Gustave Eiffel, a very gifted French engineer who specialized in iron and metallic constructions. And as I've said, a lot of people didn't like the tower. Actually, it was planned as a temporary monument for that World Exhibition, and then people got used to it, and today it is the very symbol of Paris. It seems that it's the most valuable monument of the whole world. The tower measures over 1,000 feet, and it weighs almost 10,000 tons. You know, you can read different things in different books, but the official thing is that it weighs almost 10,000 tons. The construction of the tower lasted 2 years, 2 months and 5 days. Every 7 years they paint the tower again. In this case they use about 60 tons of paint, 60 tons of paint, and to paint the tower again lasts almost the same time as it took to build it. Almost 2 years to paint the tower again. Gustave Eiffel, the very gifted engineer, was specialized in iron and metallic construction. They had already planned elevators for the tower, but those elevators were hydraulic ones.
In the audio guide that you can find by your seat. The English commentary is on channel number 2, English number 2. And also the exhibitions.
Alexander. Alexander the Second Bridge.
ಇಲ್ಲ ಅಲ್ಲ ಒಂದ್ಸಲ ಬರ್ತಾವೆ ಫಳ ಅಂತ
democracy is different from heritage and from revolution. Right hand side. This is the Concorde. Just leaving now, I'm going out.
ಸುಮ್ಮನೆ ತಗೊಂಡು ಹೊರಟೋಗಿ ಅಷ್ಟೇನೆ. ಸ್ವಲ್ಪ ಆ ಕಡೆ ಹೋದ್ರೆ ಅಷ್ಟು ಬಿಸಿಲಿರಲ್ಲ. ಈ ಸೈಡ್ ಅಲ್ಲ, ಸ್ವಲ್ಪ ಆ ಕಡೆ ಹೋಗ್ಬಾರ್ದು.
The sun is around.
Et bon, il est devenu la mascotte des Parisiens et l'indicateur des inondations de la Seine. Imaginez que lors de l'inondation de 1910, l'eau lui est arrivée jusqu'à... Die gesamte Mannschaft wünscht Ihnen einen wunderschönen Aufenthalt in Paris. Señoras, señores, nuestro cruce está terminando. Por motivos de seguridad, les rogamos que permanezcan sentados hasta que nuestro barco se detenga totalmente en el muelle.